Pressured that time as chasing him down was big number 33, Mike Elder, and he unloaded it, goes incomplete. If we close the book on Derek Goffney tonight, he ends up with 4 of 9, no interceptions, and just a real fine evening.
He ended up with an efficient evening where he made some good decisions. The handoff to Stockton appears to be good for the first down, Dale.
It's going to be real close depending on the spot, but it looked to me, as you mentioned, that he got past the chains, a gain on the play of about 2 yards.
Andre Hicks leading the Rams on defense.
They're going to measure.
That may be the first one we've seen tonight.
I was going to say it is the first one, and if those of you can recall last week, we had a plethora of measurements last week.
These officials have done about as good a job as you could find in being inconspicuous. I'm not saying they maybe haven't missed some things, but they've made every effort to be inconspicuous.
Yeah, they certainly haven't decided the outcome of the game.
They've helped dictate the length of it.
That's for sure.
They've done their part.
It's going to be a 2-yard pickup for Stockton and a Yellow Jacket first down.
With 11 minutes to play. Second man carrying the football is Shane Brewer. He's up to about an 8-yard gain at the, got close to the 30 on his forward progress. We'll call it the 31 as we pick that up from the public address system. The Rams unstack, and the last man up we see is 53, Jeremy Reidenbach.
Well, I think perhaps what Coach Roddy would like to do is get a 100-yard rushing game for his featured back, Shane Brewer, who's really been keyed on all year and doesn't have a lot of good numbers. And I got him unofficially right now at about 87 yards. Look for him to try to get him over the 100-yard mark, I think, on this drive, and then his evening will probably be done.
Waters wants to throw. He rolls out. Elder chasing him. Unloads it. Beautiful throw to Brewer. The 10, the 5, touchdown. Waters, a touchdown pass for the Yellow Jackets will come from 31 yards away. Touchdown, Sydney.
Well, apparently he won't run it in, Dave, but how about a pass reception for a touchdown? And didn't Waters show great poise as he rolled out, really checking off to his third receiver? He was wanting to throw the ball into coverage, but waited and very patiently threw a very nice catchable ball to Shane Brewer. Shane broke a tackle and took it on in. 31-yard touchdown strike, Waters to Brewer.
Elsner will try the point after with 10:03 to play. It'll be out of the hold of quarterback Derek Goffney. Ball's down, the kick is up, and it is good. Sydney leads Trotwood 41-6. The Jackets will take a 1-0 league mark and a 3-1 overall record back to Julia Lamb next Friday to face the always tough Northmont Thunderbolts. A YMCA membership is affordable and it's fun. For instance, for a family, it costs less than $1.25 a day. A YMCA membership gives you the opportunity to participate in courses to improve your health, take fun-filled trips, or to be a part of a Reds game. In addition, YMCA members can enjoy a heated indoor pool and whirlpool all year long. That's a consideration tonight. Make the right choice. A YMCA membership is the best family entertainment in town, along with Jacket football. Contact Mike Lieber at the YMCA for full membership information.
I don't know about a hot whirlpool, but a warm blanket would go over pretty good right now. It is a cool evening in Trotwood. The Yellow Jackets, however, are red hot.
This is the coldest it's been at a game we've done since we were here 2 years ago.
You're right. Last year it was like working through the summer season. It was very nice.
Moran will boot it away for Sydney with 10:03 to play. Here's the kick, carries pretty nicely down to the 15-yard line. This is Spikes to the 20, 30. Can he get away? Started ahead that way before a nice open field job for the Jackets out at the 35-yard line.
Number 30, that's going to be Ludwig.
That's Howie Ludwig, and what a good job he did returning kicks last week. In fact, Ludwig vaulted himself up there in the kickoff return numbers last week. 3 returns, 68 yards, a 22.7 average.
Not bad.
Now, when you consider you're catching the ball in high school around the 10 to the 20, somewhere in there in most cases, and you put that kind of a return on top of it, that'll work. Hudson still at the controls for Trotwood. Hands the football this way to Fitton. He'll carry outside. Jackets will get a stop over there. We're getting some new faces in there. Jeremy Weber, 46. Luke Allen, a more familiar face in on the play. It'll be a pickup of 7. Trotwood goes to second down 3. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to play from Bob Driver Stadium. Here's the I formation for the Rams. Motion goes to the right side. Hudson will hand it off. And Paul Neves and Luke Allen do a great job there. In standing up 44, Jeremy Barner. Good job defensively, and that's the kind of technique you like to see, Dale, out of 2 of the ace defenders for the Jackets.
Hit and wrap, that's what it's called. Just hit and wrap. They come up, hit hard, wrap up the ball carrier, and bring him down. The spot of the ball is just shy of the 45-yard line. It's going to be less than a yard to go for a first down.
After the game, we'll have a brief wrap-up and then invite you to join us next Saturday morning for Northmont at Sydney in this same 9 a.m. time slot. Hand off to the first man. That'll be Barner in, let's see, he's going to be awful close on his forward progress. Looks like he has it by just about a half a length of the football. There's an example versus last week, Dale. The officials a week ago would have measured that. These guys say it's just over a yard line that's marked all the way across. We can eyeball it, see how it compares, and either it's good enough or it's not.
And I think the length of the sleeves on the officials is playing a little bit.
Well, maybe it is.
Speeding that call up just a tad. I can't imagine they're a little chilly themselves.
Hudson will roll out to the right to throw with his left arm. Puts a pretty tight spiral on one that will be too tall for Marion Fitton. The intended target down the right sideline. Dusty Lenz defending over there, along with 30 Ludwig, who dropped off to cover. Lenz earlier had a reception which preceded the last Sydney touchdown that put the Jackets ahead with the extra point, 41-6.
Well, Andre Hudson came in here, Dave, and we weren't sure exactly what to expect. The opening series, he throws 2 passes that were just picture perfect.
The
right
touchdown would make a highlight film. If Channel 7 would run that tonight, you'd say that belongs.
But since those first 2 receptions, he's been only 2 of 14 with 2 interceptions.
You keep in mind he was only 29% on the season entering this evening. Giroux Mark was crossing over that time from left to right, Spradling defending for the Jackets. The pass simply was too tall. We'll go to third down 10. Clock stopped with 7:40 to play, and the Jackets on top by 35.
.740 to go. Clock stopped. Yellow Jackets would like to get the ball back again.
Hudson to throw it. Allen was pursuing him. That ball's underthrown. Dusty Lenz is able to help break up a pass that was way downfield that was slightly underthrown. It was intended back there for 25 Major Ziegler, who earlier caught that touchdown pass we referred to. And Trotwood faces 4th and 10. They'll deploy the punting unit.
That was the identical play that they scored the touchdown on. That time Ziegler once again had a step or 2 on Lenz, but Dusty stayed right with it and was able to knock the ball down as it was slightly underthrown.
Biggs will punt for the Rams. Takes a low snap from center into the football. Line drive. It'll be allowed to hit. And fortunately for Sydney, takes a lateral bounce. The roll is only about 2 yards in Trotwood's favor. So the Jackets will put it in play back at the 20 with 7:24 to play in the football game.
Well, Dave, the Yellow Jackets caught a little short that time. Shane Brewer has come out of the game, and he's always the deep man for the punt return. And just as the ball was being kicked, running onto the field was young Spradling, who went back and elected not to try to catch the ball, and I think a wise choice.
Right.
Because he was running horizontally across the field and would have had to make a circus catch, and there'd have been too great an opportunity to fumble that football. The Jackets, I believe, are going to call a timeout to get things set as they brought a lot of new people onto the field, and they're going to talk things over at their own side of the field.
Each weekly installment of Yellow Jacket Replay during this 100th season of Sydney football is aired on Saturday morning at 9 here on Warner 13. Our Lehman Cavalier replays are on Monday evenings at 6, following games played in either Sydney or Piqua. Therefore, our next Lehman telecast will be Monday, October 2nd at 6 o'clock against the Versailles Tigers, two-time defending state champions, and they may be on their way again. Ross Media and Channel 13 Productions collectively thank the over 24 local businesses who sponsor these telecasts throughout the season and possibly, hopefully, into the playoffs. We'll also be joining you during the basketball season, starting with the Sydney Holiday Tournament in late December. This is Channel 13 Sydney, the home of local high school football on cable television.
Well, Dave, we're ready for action. 7:13 to go. The Yellow Jackets first and 10 at their own 20 following the 35-yard Trotwood punt.
Handoff comes this way, and a little slippage on the turf. We'll pick up some new numbers carrying the mail for the Jackets.
Number 32.
This time it's going to be 32, and we don't show one.
We don't show one.
Late jersey change, apparently. And, in fact, Public Address has just gone with an acknowledgement that there was only a gain of 3 on the play, setting up 2nd and 7. Waters rolls out to the left. That'll be a little bit too tall for the intended target over there, Cavender, number 20. So the Jackets now will look at 3rd and 7 with 6:36 to play.
And Waters had Cavender open, and this is something that's interesting in light of some of the large college scores, and they talk about running a score up. Here's a situation where the second team is out there, and this is the Sydney offense, and these guys want to move the ball too. You just don't roll over and play dead. They weren't trying to run it up. They're just trying to gain some yardage and eat up some clock.
It's 3rd down 8. Clock stopped as we indicated. Motion goes to the left. Handoff will come back this way for no gain. Or excuse me, a loss. When I said no gain, I was looking at the where 1st down had been. And actually, it'll be a little bit forward to that. So Sydney will look at 4th down. About 8 yards to go, and Andy Ward will be the Jacket punter, perhaps for the last time tonight, with 6 minutes, 14 seconds left to play. This is the opening game of the 14th season of the Greater Miami Valley Conference. Action starting back in the fall of 1982, so this is season number 14. Ward takes a high snap from center, fortunate to get it away. There's a penalty flag. There will be a bounce in Sydney's favor. David Johnson gets away from it. Ball dead at the 47. I'm guessing illegal procedure on Sydney as our clock shows 5:46. There are 2 penalty flags. It is illegal procedure on the Jackets. And we'll see what Trotwood's preference is right here.
Well, Trotwood really came with a great rush, Dave. They'll decline the penalty, of course, take the football. A 27-yard punt by Ward, his only punt of the evening. So the Yellow Jacket offense has gotten the job done prior to this, the first time that they've had to turn the ball over via the punt. But because of that rush, Andy unloaded that as quickly as he could.
Looks like number 3, Greg Wiley, will be operating a quarterback for the Rams. 5:45 to play. Clock's on the move. Sydney in command, 41-6. Trotwood scored first here this evening. Wiley at the controls. They've got some new faces as well as the Jackets, and we'll catch up with everybody as the situation dictates and as the roster permits. There's Barner once again. I like the way he hit the hole on that play. Carried straight ahead with some Yellow Jackets there. The final Sydney defender to pull him down is 50, Phil Atwell. They split the difference. 1st and 10 becomes 2nd down 5. By the snap of the football, we'll have about 4:45 left.
Well, the Yellow Jackets, Dave, have defenses averaged giving up almost 27 points a contest. Regardless of what happens the remaining 4 minutes and 50 seconds of this game, that will reduce.
Here's a counter back this way, and Bikes is met by Chambers. I believe his forward progress, sounds a little strange, but I believe forward progress will permit a loss of 2 or 3.
Instead of many more. Great hit. Chambers came in, read the play, and eluded his blocker and hit the ball carrier head on. You're right, Dave. It's going to be a loss on the play of about 2.5, maybe 3. Let's make it 3rd down and a short 8.
Football just inside the 45-yard line on Sydney's half of the turf. Jackets lead by 35. Wiley to throw. That one is up for grabs. Giroux Mark is able to make the catch in front of the Sydney defender back there, 21. That's Tony Harp. So Trotwood with the completion. And this very well could be a football game in which the Rams score first and last. It'll be 1st and 10 from the left hash mark at the 13-yard line.
A 47-yard reception. And that ball, Dave, was just thrown up for grabs, as you mentioned, but the Sydney defense lost contact with the receiver. They turned out too soon, and Mr. Giroux was able to run behind coverage and pull down that rainbow pass.
Giroux Mark with the reception. They'll run a dive. That football's loose. Is Chambers on it? Looked like he was, and yes, it is. So Trotwood does not score on that sequence. They have a problem with the handoff. Football laid on the turf, and Chambers able to pick that up. And the Jackets will go on offense apparently for one final time this evening.
Well, both teams with 3 turnovers, Dave. The Yellow Jackets have picked off 2 Trotwood passes and now have recovered a fumble to avert a possible Trotwood score. But the Yellow Jackets have fumbled 3 times themselves.
See what the Jackets are doing. The clock's moving. The quarterback says he doesn't have enough troops.
And I think Sydney's going to need to call a timeout just to avoid getting a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
They're on the verge of it right now. Watch the back, Judge.
They're hustling.
3:15. Motion this way. They get the playoff in time. And off, and again only to the 10-yard line. We apologize for not being able to identify 32. We are removed from the public address and scouts who may indeed have already gone to the sidelines. So we'll just put that on our list for next week to update that number, but it's one that did not come to us prior to this evening.
It's going to be a loss in the play of about 2 yards.
2:45 to play. Waters at quarterback. Motion to the left. The handoff goes that way. And that might be a loss of a couple of more. Carrying the mail for Sydney. And again, we don't have a 28. We apologize.
That's what the coach wants. And you've got a game that's well in hand. Get a lot of new faces in there. Apparently breaking out some new numbers as well.
They've succeeded. 2:18 to play. It's 3rd down. About 15 yards to go for the Jackets. Twin receivers go to the right. Waters wants to throw, being pursued out of the end zone. Got a completion. It's good out to the 12, the 15, the 16-yard line. That'll still be well short of a first down. It's going to be 4th and 7. And the Sydney kicking unit will come on as the clock continues to move down. The snap on the punt will show about 1:35 to play in the football game. Andy Ward will continue to do those jobs tonight. In fact, I noticed 2 Yellow Jackets punting the ball quite effectively in tonight's warm-up. Ward takes a low snap from center into the football. Gets it off. He got pretty good heat, and that one goes straight up. It'll take a neutral roll. That Sydney will down. That's 41, Kent Witt. And only at the 33-yard line. So Trotwood maybe they will score for the final time this evening as they have super field position with just 80 ticks left in the football game. The football signaled ready for play. Clock will start, and at the point they snap it, we'll have about a minute to go.
Only an 18-yard punt. The great punting average of Andy Ward is also going to be reduced after tonight.
Right, coming in, Trotwood was last in the league in punting. Sydney was first. Ward, I think, hurried to get that one away and make sure it wasn't blocked, and it did more of an upward than a driving effort. There's a big hit for the Yellow Jackets. Boy, going back to throw there was Wiley. Coming in for Sydney, Ben Martin, number 67, just a sophomore. They run that all the way across. Yes, it is. And I think those are the things that those guys on the bench just dream about, getting a Friday night opportunity to get. And that young man got one there.
Well, the Yellow Jackets, Dave, in a lot of situations where they appear to be in a passing formation, they will let the linebackers game from the outside to the inside. You see Jeremiah do it quite often and shoots through that tackle gap and is able to blindside the quarterback. Good play right there, the big hit.
18 seconds to go. This may be the last play of the game unless it goes out of bounds, which it does. Carrying the mail for Trotwood, Robert Smith, number 30. Play goes out with 13 seconds to play. The spot will be the 31-yard line where it's going to be 3rd down 7 for the Rams. Trotwood will drop to 0-1 in the conference, 1-3 overall. Sydney will be the opposite, 3-1, 1-0. Northmont coming to Julia Lamb next week. Northmont, another program without a lot of football players. They were only talking about having a 50-man squad in what is a huge school compared to the enrollment likes of Sydney and Piqua. There's the deep toss. Wiley's passed. It's Spradling. Get it at the 2? Yes, he did. That'll be with 7 seconds to go. Spradling the interception as that ball was intended down there for Major Ziegler. Jackets will go on offense, but they will in all probability not snap the football.
And that's a good idea. The spot of the ball is going to be on the 1-yard line, and there's no need to snap it. Let them start the clock.
That'll do it.
It should. I think Waters knows it.
Yep, the Jackets will not even have to break the huddle. The clock hits 0, and the final score, the Yellow Jackets 41 and Trotwood Madison 6. Dale will have a wrap-up after we acknowledge our strong sponsors, who include the Sydney Shelby County YMCA, the Heinfeld Insurance Agency, Sydney Interstate Shell, the home of the free car wash, the Dog Pound behind the Sydney Econo Lodge, the Minster State Bank, First Call Auto Supply, the Spot and Frisch's Restaurants, People's Federal Savings and Loan Association, Travel to Paradise, the North Dixie Drive-Thru Carryout, Wilson's Cardinal Foods, Edward D. Jones and Company with Errol Browd and Allen Browd, Emerson Wagner Realty, Area Energy and Electric, Mutual Federal Savings Bank, your halftime band show sponsor, Myers Garage and Drive-Thru Carryout in Newport, the Reese Insurance Agency, the Sydney office of the First National Bank in New Bremen, F.D. Lawrence Electric, the Dickman Insurance Agency, the Farrington, and A&B Machine Incorporated. Our cameraman, as per usual, has been John Hemp from Hemp Imagery in Sydney, specializing in still and video photography of weddings and other memorable events. Call him at 492-7313. He promises he'll give you his best shot, as the Jackets did tonight.
Dave, it's a lopsided figures on the side for the Yellow Jackets tonight, and some really, really nice-looking numbers. Dave, there's not much offense for the Trotwood Rams tonight. 33 yards total rushing. The leading ball carrier, Mike Elder, total of 18 yards. In the passing department, Hudson was 4 of 18 with 2 interceptions. His replacement was 1 of 2 with 1 interception. And it just wasn't a pretty sight. Total passing yardage of 104. Total offensive output for Trotwood tonight, 137 yards. The Jackets were a juggernaut tonight. 292 yards rushing, 99 yards passing, 391 yards of total offense for the Yellow Jackets. Leading ball carrier Andy Ward with 130 yards, Shane Brewer 87, and a host of others totaling a 292. In the receiving department, they were led by Shane Brewer, who caught 3 yards. And the Yellow Jackets end up with Derek Goffney, 4 of 9 passing. And Waters comes in to replace him, and he does a nice job of 2 of 4 throwing the football. So the Yellow Jackets end up combining at the quarterback department, 6 of 13 passing, 99 yards. Recap the scoring. The Yellow Jackets looked to be in for a long night. Trotwood took the opening kickoff, marched down the field 73 yards, and Hudson to Mark Ziegler, right corner of the end zone, 20-yard touchdown strike. It was 6-0 Trotwood. The extra point no good, and they kicked to the Yellow Jackets. The Jackets fumbled on their first possession. Gave the ball back, but the defense was able to hold. Then the Yellow Jackets were able to put points on the board. At the 2:12 mark in the first period, Andy Ward from 1 yard out punched it in. The kick was good. It was 7-6 Jackets. Then Sydney at the 10:55 mark second period, Derek Goffney on an 18-yard run. The extra point was wide left, and it was 13-6 Jackets. Still in the second quarter, 5:50 mark, a pass to Josh Swiger in the right corner of the end zone. Derek Goffney doing the honors, and it was a 20-yard touchdown. The kick was, the 2-point conversion run in by Goffney was good, and it was 21-6 Yellow Jackets. With 20 seconds to go until halftime, Andy Ward on an 11-yard run. The extra point attempt was no good. It was 27-6 at halftime. The Jackets cap things off with 2 more scoring drives, 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. 7:20 in the third. Mike Chambers on a 20-yard run. Very niftily goes in. The extra point was good, 34-6. And the final score, Waters to Brewer on a 31-yard pass. The kick was good. Final score, Yellow Jackets 41, Trotwood 6.
Next Saturday morning at 9 a.m., Yellow Jacket replay features Northmont at Sydney. Until that time, on behalf of Dale Given and John Hemp, this is Dave Ross saying good evening from Bob Driver Stadium in Trotwood.
This has been a presentation of Channel 13 Productions and Cable TV Sports in cooperation with Time Warner and Ross Media. Thanks for joining us on community-minded local television. This is Channel 13, Sydney.
0 for the first. 45 seconds left in the period. Maybe only one more snap in this quarter, and it has been a long one. In terms of your wristwatch, this quarter, by the time it concludes, will have been about 25 minutes. Fair in motion. Fake to Brewer. Goffney runs the option, gets pretty deep in the backfield. Pitches it to Fair, can't get around the corner. That play got too deep. Derek Anderson, 37, makes the stop. Sidney will face a third down, but in 4-down territory. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
Give him about a yard on the play. But Bellfntn, what great pursuit, Dave. By the time Fair went out of bounds, all 11 players from Bellfntn were within 3 or 4 yards of the sidelines.
The Jackets called timeout when they were in a position. Oh, that play carried out of bounds.
Yes.
Okay. They would have had to done that. I was going to say that the clock could have run all the way down to expire the first period, but it was a dead ball. That wasn't the case. It's timeout Sidney. The Jackets have an important 3rd down 9 upcoming, which then would be followed by a 4th down on which they would not punt. More of our sponsors tonight include the North Dixie Drive-Thru Carryout, Wilson's Cardinal Foods, Edward D. Jones and Company with Errol Browd and Alan Browd, Emerson Wagner Realty, Area Energy and Electric, Mutual Federal Savings Bank, which will be along at halftime, and Myers Garage and Drive-Thru Carryout in Newport.
And Dave, the rain has started up again. A strong wind coming out of the east, and we're getting quite a bit of rain, and we see the umbrellas coming out once again.
No doubt about that. Jackets back onto the field as you see them leave their head coach. 2 downs to try to do something about 9 yards. Football is at the 20.
You'd think the Jackets would try to pass here, but they've been very unsuccessful. Only 1 of 5 throwing the football with 2 interceptions thus far.
12th play of the drive upcoming. That started at the 32. Goffney back to throw. Here comes the blitz. He'll unload it. Got Brewer 25-20. He'll get down to the 17-16. Well, make it the 17-yard line. He goes out of bounds. That'll be a pickup of 4, or make it 3 for 4th down. And that's still going to be close to 7. And I tell you what, the rain we're getting right now is about the hardest we've had tonight.
Agreed. 11 seconds to go first period. The Jackets, 4th down and a long 6. Bellfntn able to score on 4th and long. See what the Jackets are able to do here.
From the right hash mark, Goffney to throw. Gets a lot of pressure, unloads, got a touchdown! Andy Ward.
They beat the blitz.
They sure did. That's a blitz beater. Touchdown, Sidney. It's a 13-play, 68-yard drive.
Well, that time coming with a safety blitz, Bellfntn and the Yellow Jackets, Dave, sniffed it, and Goffney unloaded it as he was headed for his backside. The ball floated into the end zone, and running under it was Andy Ward. A big score still in the first quarter.
Chris Elsner will try the point after touchdown for the Yellow Jackets as they rotate everybody over. Trying for his first varsity point. That's down and up. A guy came through to try to block it and flat out overran it. A guy trying to block that kick overran it. He missed it. Elsner makes his first varsity point. Sidney on the board trailing 14-7. 7 seconds left in the period. Woody Sturm at the North Dixie Drive-Thru in Sidney is glad to support the Sidney Yellow Jackets and Lehman Cavaliers right here on Warner 13. North Dixie is your complete party supply headquarters. From beverages to ice to chips to charcoal, and those last-minute convenience items like bread and milk. You'll find everything you need from the convenience of your car. That's the North Dixie Drive-Thru just south of I-75 on County Road 25A in Sidney. They're open daily at 10 a.m. with Sunday sales available, also featuring all the Ohio lottery games, including the twice-weekly lotto. The North Dixie Drive-Thru now also carries propane. Why not trade an empty cylinder for a full one? That's at the North Dixie Drive-Thru.
Well, Dave, what a big drive and a big play for the Jackets. We mentioned they needed to answer the bell right away, and that they were able to do, driving all the way down the field, actually a total of 68 yards and a touchdown coming on 4th and basically to go and goal to go but they scored from the 17-yard line and answered the bell against Bellfntn. They've drawn within a touchdown, and the rain picks up, and it's a driving rain now.
Derek Goffney did a nice job saving that extra point for the kicker, Chris Elsner. Moran will kick it off. That'll just be a little punch kick down to the 30. It's knocked around, picked up by one of the up men, Mellon Baker, number 34. He'll take it back to the 41-yard line. Tackle for the Yellow Jackets, Phil Atwell, number 50, and Bellfntn goes back on offense. But first of all, the first quarter is in the books. A lot of offense in the first period. Yellow Jackets had a couple of passes go for interceptions that led to Chieftain scores. Sidney also threw for a touchdown. Largely accounts for our current situation of 14-7. More of our sponsors are the Reese Insurance Agency, the Sidney office of the First National Bank in New Bremen, F.D. Lawrence Electric, the Dickman Insurance Agency, the Farrington, and A&B Machine Incorporated. Your locally owned independent groceries are Wilson's Cardinal Foods with 2 Sidney locations. Jim Wilson pledges competitive prices among a wide selection, but feels that personal customer service is what really sets them apart. This service includes complimentary carry-out from the checkout line to your car. Need a party tray or some delicious fried chicken for your special gathering? How about a birthday cake? Visit Wilson's Cardinal Foods on Wapak Avenue or South Ohio Avenue, both in Sidney. They're proud to be a part of the community. Ask for details about delivery service from Wilson's. They'll gladly accommodate those who truly need it. Dale?
Well, Dave, we're ready to start action. Second period, 14-7 lead for Bellfntn. They have the ball first and goal on their own 40-yard line. First and 10, excuse me.
This is some running room for Libertus. Breaks the tackle. He'll finally be stacked up at the 46. I tell you, Luke Allen got a chance there for a big hit out at that point. And that will make the stop after a pickup of 5. That'll make it 2nd down and 5.
Well, that's what we expected to see out of Bellfntn, was a lot of Libertus. But in their first 2 possessions, Dave, we saw a lot of fullback and a lot of passing.
Well, now they've established a lot of things.
Yeah, that's only the 4th carry of the ball game. Jackets very slow breaking the defensive huddle.
Chieftains will try a dive to their fullback. That'll go nowhere. 41, Kent Witt will help to rack things up there on Bowser. He'll get a yard. That'll be about the extent of it, so we'll go to 3rd down and still 4 yards to go. And this is a part of the field where Bellfntn would have to punt. And again, the rain is coming hard. You're not, from what we can see on our monitor, really able to see that on your screen, but believe us, it's coming. And that's also a tribute to the condition of the field. Jackets have encroached. That'll be a 1st down. Libertus went in motion, but Sidney had encroachment from this side. We'll get the signal. That's offside against the Jackets.
First penalty against the Yellow Jackets, Dave, but it's one that will net a 1st down for Bellfntn. Their first here in the 2nd period, as this is the first possession in the 2nd quarter. So Sidney anxious to try to stop Bellfntn on a 3rd down that would have forced him into a punting situation, but instead it's going to be 1st and 10 Bellfntn.
Chiefs go from their own, from the Sidney 48-yard line. 10:49 till halftime, and the way the rain is coming down, we would have to doubt that there would be any on-field band shows at this point.
A momentary timeout for equipment repair. One of the middle linebackers for the Yellow Jackets having trouble with his headgear, so the referees send Bellfntn back to their huddle while they tend to the Yellow Jackets.
The officials, as you can see there just in the left side of your screen, making an effort to keep that football dry, as we've seen some passing early in the contest, and it's going to be tough to keep that up. These are a couple of teams that are both very comfortable on the ground.
Bellfntn with a huge offensive line, averaging over 230 pounds per individual.
Chiefs bring some motion this way. They fake the counter to Libertus. Thompson wants to throw it. Got a man underneath. He's got a completion. That's 92, Chris Schmidt. And the Chiefs have taken it down to the Sidney 25-yard line. So Bellfntn, recipient of a couple of Sidney early miscues. also have shown that they can move the football. That'll be their second first down in this sequence.
23-yard pickup, and that's just like taking candy from a baby right there as they do the double fake on the inside and the rollout, and that tight end doesn't have anyone within 5 or 6 yards of him. Jackets will need to make an adjustment there.
Wing is to the right, and that wing will come back to the left on the counter. Ward missed him. Paulus, with some help, will make the tackle at the 15-yard line. St. Clair carried the mail. That'll be very close to a first down.
The spot looks to be right on the 16-yard line, and they're going to call it, I believe, second down, and about a 1 to go. Bellfntn, Dave, really showing they want to mix things up. Pass, reverse, a lot of action out there.
Still a pretty heavy rain. That would mean that almost every forecast we've seen the last couple of days has not been accurate. Not supposed to happen this late into the evening. There's Bowser for the Bellfntn touchdown. That looked like a hot knife cutting through warm butter.
Sure did. A hole big enough to drive the truck through.
The Jackets just didn't put up a lot of resistance on that particular sequence, and the Chiefs are on the board for the third time tonight. Bellfntn leads 20-7 with the point after touchdown by 67. Bart Austin yet to come. His holder is the quarterback, 14, Greg Thompson. And it should get increasingly tougher to kick these extra points. There's the snap. It's up. Didn't look like any trouble there. It's good. And the Chieftain advantage over the Yellow Jackets stands at 21-7. And we still have almost 10 minutes to play before halftime. Right now at Area Energy and Electric, your authorized Cellular One agent, when you sign up for a 2-year service contract, you get an AudioVox portable cellular phone for free. That's right, free. Pay nothing, no matter how you say it, it just sounds good. All you have to do is head straight to Area Energy and Electric. Sign up for a 2-year contract, and you not only get a high-quality AudioVox 425 portable cell phone free, but you also get the Cellular One cellular quality you can count on. Not to mention quality customer service before, during, and after the sale. It's a $180 value, and it's all yours when you visit Area Energy and Electric. Off Route 29, just north of Sydney. New activations only. Restrictions and certain rate plans apply. Offer ends September 24th. Pagers are now also available at Area Energy and Electric.
Now, Dave, how big was that offsides against the Yellow Jackets? They had Bellfntn in a third down and long situation, 4.5 yards, and by jumping off sides, they give them an automatic first down, and that gave them the momentum back again. They put another 7 on the board. Jackets need to answer it with a score of their own.
The rain becoming more of a mist. There's a wobbly kick that Brewer will pick up and hand it to Fair. He'll head to the right. 15, 20. He'll only get to the 22-yard line. And Sydney will set up shop there, first down 10.
Well, Yellow Jackets, once again, Dave, with not excellent field position. They are just barely across their own 20 up to the 22. They've been there before. They've got a lot of real estate to cover. And they've had their most success on the ground. Let's see what they're able to come up with here. It'd be nice to bust one open, but Bellfntn playing way off the football and double covering the outside receiver.
9:30 till halftime. Sweep to the right with Ward on a pure numbers game with the number of people that were deployed to this side. Something like that should work. Ward did pick up some moderate success on the play. He'll get close to 7 with where that spot's going. No, let's make it 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 as they'll back it up just a little bit. Bellfntn's last touchdown drive went 60 yards. Couple of defenders paying attention to John Spradling, number 3. This time it'll go straight ahead. Brewer broke loose. He'll go down the sideline, the 50, the 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line. What a job of second effort for about an extra 40 yards. Sydney went from the 28, it's 22 to midfield.
42.
Down to the 43-yard gain.
43-yard gain.
That's what I said. It was about an extra 40. about an extra 40 from the time he got popped.
Boy, a good quick hitter, and as you mentioned, he broke the tackle and was into the secondary, and that's what happens when you're really watching for the pass. A lot of secondary people looking at the outside and not up the middle.
Jackets have first down at the 30. They trail by a couple of touchdowns. Double wing. Handoff will go straight ahead. That's Brewer. Got some more room. He'll get down to the 23-yard line. Host of tacklers, including 67 Bart Austin. This is Brewer's third appearance for Sidney against Bellfntn, but his fourth overall, as he would have played against the Chieftains while performing as a very capable freshman for the Urbana Hill Climbers.
Gain on the play of a nice 7. 8:03 to go until halftime.
And now the Jackets have single coverage on this side. It's just outside of your picture. Double wing. Goffney will pitch it to Brewer. Looks like he can turn the corner. He'll be just shy of a first down. Over at about the 20-yard line. Up to support Ted O'Brien, number 41 for Bellfntn. Will go now to third down and under a yard to go. 7.5 minutes till halftime. Already 4 touchdowns on the board. 3/4 of those owned by the home team.
Definitely 4-down territory. See if the Jackets try to keep it on the ground or try to go for the big one in the air.
Look for it on the ground with wing tee to the right. There'll be Brewer. He'll get through a couple of people. Let's see where forward progress takes him. I believe he's there.
It's going to be close. He was trying to weave his way across the 20.
That's extremely close. They'll need to take a look. He might be just short. Austin in on the tackle for Bellfntn. If he's short, it's a matter of inches.
Well, the wide side of the field's to the wrong side of the field if you want to go with a rollout situation, but I think here you got to go for it, and you got to go for it strong up the middle. They're going to be shy by a half a yard.
9.5 inches short of a first down.
Well,
it's close to a foot.
Close to a foot.
Close to a foot.
A pickup on the play of about a half a yard.
It's fourth down. Big play for Sidney. 7 minutes till intermission. See if Goffney will sneak this one. Couple of people, or one guy right over the center. But I think the Jackets will sneak this. No, they don't. The handoff goes to Brewer. He's got the yardage. Thought I saw a penalty flag. That was a bird that flew through.
Pigeon.
Yeah, pigeon.
Headed for cover. That'll be a Yellow Jacket first down. Nice carry that time, hitting the line hard. Gain on the play of about 3.5, make it 4 yards.
16-yard line.
4-yard gain on the play. Yellow Jacket first down.
Football just outside of the 16. Fresh set of 4 for the Jackets. 6:40 left in the second period. Bellfntn on the home side of the board, 21, Sidney 7. Here's the counter back this way on the double handoff, and that'll simply get lost among a large volume of bodies.
Number 2,
Logan Fair with the football, 22.
It's actually 22 is Logan Fair.
Augustus on the stop for Bellfntn. That'll be the loss of a yard. So we'll go to second down and 11. As Sidney again will try to cut this down to a 1-touchdown ball game after falling behind at a maximum point of 14-0, and now most recently 21-7. Ward on the sweep, turns inside of a block. Gets to the 15-14-yard line. Ted O'Brien, very active from a middle linebacker post for Bellfntn, makes the tackle.
But time and time again, the Yellow Jackets unable to get outside on their sweep, as Bellfntn doing a great job of getting up at the point of attack and turning the play back inside.
Third down, 7 yards to go. 5:37 on the clock, as finally some clock is starting to elapse. We had an exceedingly long first quarter.
No passes thus far this drive. It's been all on the ground.
It's misting in Bellfntn. Goffney rolls this way. Stops to throw it. Now he'll take off. He'll get to the 10. Maybe forward progress inside the 10, but that'll be about it. 4 Chieftain tacklers. Austin, the first man on the scene. So we'll go now to fourth down, and Sidney will still need 3.
A good job that time by Goffney. He went back, looked at his first receiver, wasn't there, went to the second one, then went to his third option, Dave, as he decided to run, hang on to the football, and not throw it away. Puts the Jackets in a position to pick up a first down. It'll be a fourth down play, but they want to take time out. Let's take a time in.
Mike Meyer at Meyer's Garage and Drive-Thru Carryout in Newport appreciates his Sydney area customers and is glad to be a part of this Sydney telecast. Meyer's offers complete auto and truck repair and service, including 24-hour towing. They feature Pennzoil gasolines, both full and self-serve, along with diesel fuel. Propane is also available. That's Meyer's Garage and Drive-Thru Carryout in Newport at routes 47 and 66, where the drive-thru always has a pop special with no limit. An awful big fourth down upcoming.
We had one the last series. It was fourth down and about 3 or 4 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. They went for the pass, threw it up in the end zone, and Andy Ward ran under it. Bellfntn gambled and came with the blitz. Jackets beat it and put 7 points on the board. Now the Jackets face fourth down and 4, the ball on the 10.
And 3, ball at the 10-yard line.
21-7 Chieftains, football squarely at the 10-yard line at the left hash mark.
It looks like Bellfntn's going to stack things up pretty close. See if the Jackets go with a rollout to the right side. Double option for the quarterback, pass or run.
Everybody tight, both offensively and defensively. Goffney with a long count, hands it to Ward. He'll sweep to the right. He does, oh boy, that's going to be close. That is close. 41 in on the stop.
Well, there was a
Ted
great
O'Brien once again.
I'm sorry, it's a great hole opened up on the right side, and it looked like Ward was going to have some room to run. But, man, what contact at the line of scrimmage, and it looks like the Jackets are moving back. We're going to measure, but I'm not so sure it's a first down. Well, it will be a first down.
Yeah.
But which direction will the offense be running?
I think it's going to be a first down east. They'll stretch it. It's Bellfntn. A measurement wasn't even necessary there. So the Jacket defense now has to be sure that the Chiefs don't score before halftime.
At the 7-yard line, first and 10, Bellfntn.
4 minutes, 50 seconds to go until halftime. Good opportunity for the defense to really bottle up Bellfntn. We have not had a punt yet in the ball game. And with a wet football, a lot of things can happen.
That could aid the Jackets cutting this lead in half before intermission. But it's got to start right here. Wing is to the left. He comes in motion. Hand off on the trap to Libertus. He will get only to the 10-yard line. He picked up a couple. Allen, 44 for the Yellow Jackets. Also 34, Paul Neves.
Yeah, that's the play, Dave, that Bellfntn likes to throw the tight end drag out of. They fake that handoff inside to Libertus, and when the middle linebackers bite, that tight end just slips across the flat and is wide open. So that time they hand off to Libertus. They may be setting Sydney up for that pass once again.
They'll pitch it this way with the quarterback as a lead blocker. Libertus cuts back. He is very close to a first down. Out at about the 18 or 19-yard line, depending on the stop. On the spot, rather, David Gibbs makes the tackle for Sydney.
On the play made by John Johnson, along with Jeremy Weber.
And they'll measure. We've had a bunch of these tonight. That looks to be good for the first down. I'm not sure why. We'll take a look. I'm very sure he's picked this up.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. We've had a number of times, and particularly with as well-defined as this field is, that just hasn't been necessary every time it's been done.
Right, that ball's right on the hash marks, so that's easy to tell.
And as I say, particularly here.
Mighty big first down that time for Bellfntn. They get out of their own shadow, so to speak, out to the 18-yard line.
Less than 4 minutes till halftime. The Chiefs lead by 2 touchdowns. There'll be motion on Bellfntn. That's a dead ball foul on Libertus. So first and 10 will become first and 15.
The Yellow Jackets seemed to see something, and Paul Neves was motioning the outside like he saw the sweep coming. There was something that tipped him off. And as he started to holler, Libertus moved to try to get an advantage. And the Yellow Jackets were able to force him into a mistake. A 5-yard penalty will go against Bellfntn. Their third of the ball game.
5-yard penalty. Takes the ball back to the
5-yard mark off. Let's see if the defense can stiffen and try to get the ball back. We need another score before halftime.
Mist continues to roll in here at Bellfountain. 3:50 till intermission. Libertus and Bowser in behind the quarterback Thompson. They'll hand the football this way. That's going to be to the wingman, 36, Blake St. Clair, who caught a recent touchdown. And he'll take it to the sideline and get back most of what had been lost. We'll go now to second down and about 3 yards to go. Johnson on the stop for Sidney. Pickup of 12, 2nd and 3. Play carried out of bounds. Clock stops with 3:36.
Well, they continue to mix up the Sidney defense. That fake to the fullback inside drew all the interior people.
Quarterback Greg Thompson up under center.
The wing goes in motion behind the quarterback. They'll use him as a lead blocker. Hand off to Libertus, breaks a couple, gets to the 35. And at the very least, whether Bellfountain might go on down and score, at the very least, they're keeping the football out of Sidney's hands and helping to ensure that if there is an exchange, it'll be farther downfield. It's a first down for the Chiefs.
10-yard pickup on the play, and that time a quick hitter with Libertus, and showed you the speed as he got into the Sidney secondary in a big hurry.
.318 on the clock. Place kind of got quiet as the pitch goes to Libertus. He'll get maybe a yard. Penalty flag that would probably be holding on the Chieftains. Libertus in carrying did not get a gain on the play. Jeremiah Johnson and also Brad Stockton make the stop for Sidney. He will pick up a yard. It'll be that to weigh against a holding call.
I think the Jackets will take the 10 yards, try to force Bellfountain into doing something that they don't want to do. That is turn the ball back to the Yellow Jackets.
Some of the umbrellas have come down. A number of them are still up.
Well, I'm still having trouble with water.
Well, so be it.
Doing the best we can.
First and 19.
Split backfield behind the quarterback Thompson. They'll pitch it to the wing. Paul Neves makes a nice hit on Blake St. Clair.
Sidney has changed up some things. They're really getting to the outside on that sweep to force things back to the middle. That time as St. Clair went to cut back inside, Johnny on the spot was Neves with a very, very good jarring tackle. Pick up on the play of about 1.
It's 2nd and 19. There, the scoreboard gets corrected. 2:20 till intermission. St. Clair in motion. They'll hand it straight ahead to Bowser, the fullback. Neves will help Gibbs push him back after a gain of 3.5 yards. The Chiefs will look at a possession play on 3rd down, and they'll still need 14 yards to go.
Yellow Jackets with only 1 timeout remaining, Dave, as we hit the 2-minute mark. Look for the Yellow Jackets perhaps to come with an all-out rush if they're able to force Bellfountain to punt.
Here you can see again the official trying to keep the ball as dry as possible at the very least. Split to this side, Andy Boy, number 86. Jackets send a blitz. This is Libertus. He gets loose to the 35. Will not pick up a first down. Is that a face mask? David Johnson makes the stop for the Jackets. I don't think it could be much else.
Well, they threw it right at the point of the tackle, and they're pointing at Sidney. Once again, a penalty against the Yellow Jackets is going to hurt what could very well have been turning the ball back to the Yellow Jackets. But a good tackle at some point there. But, boy, you just hate to see those mistakes happen.
Yep, the Chiefs were going to punt, but not now.
Minute and a half to go until halftime. The Jackets may have had a chance, especially if there was a mishandle on the punt.
The big concern now is going to be to keep the Chiefs from scoring. Just make doubly sure of that and go into the locker room trailing by a couple of touchdowns. It isn't where you want to be, but at this point, it's not so much offense as it is damage control.
Well, it's going to be a 15-yard mark-off against the Yellow Jackets. That'll be an automatic first down. So as Bellfntn now sets up 1st and 10, the ball inside the Sidney 48-yard line. Clock starts. We're at a minute 23.
21-7 Bellfntn. Motion to the left. The quarterback rolls that way. Now he'll take off. Jackets will catch him at about the 42, but it's a pickup of about 6 or 7. Paul Neves on the stop for the Yellow Jackets. We've got timeout taken by the Bellfntn Chieftains. Since 1907, homemade fresh food has always been served and enjoyed at the Spot Restaurant on Courthouse Square in downtown Sydney. The current feature at the Spot is their famous Big Buy double-decker sandwich, only $1.35. The Spot offers dine-in, carry-out, and curb service, in addition to catering for any size group. That's the Spot Restaurant, a great Sydney tradition for well over 85 years.
Good coverage in the secondary that time, Dave. The Yellow Jackets forced Thompson to scramble, and he did it very nicely as he was able to cut up inside of his blockers and picked up 5 nifty yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5, maybe make it 4.5. Bellfntn ball is spotted on the Sidney 43-yard line.
Again, we're approaching halftime, 1:04, and the Chiefs starting to smell an opportunity to score.
On top of this, Dave, is the fact that Bellfntn should receive the kick to start the second half as they kicked off to the Yellow Jackets to start the contest.
As damage control really comes into play for Sydney. Chiefs deploy at the 43-yard line. The umpire about to make the football available for play after the referee's signal. Sydney 5 defenders on the line of scrimmage, rolling out to throws. Thompson got company. He's brought down.
Jeremiah
Johnson, number 5, got through there in a hurry.
Number 45 for the Yellow Jackets coming through also was able to tie up the blocker, and Jeremiah was able to make the tackle.
Mitch Paulus.
Nice job with both of those young men to combine for that quarterback sack. That's going to be a loss in the play, Dave, of 10 yards.
Now here's a possession play, but unfortunately for Sydney, not much time left. Snap of the ball will be at about 25 seconds.
Yeah,
Thompson back to throw, instead hands off on the draw to Libertus. Sydney with a gang effort down at the 35-yard line will stop it. And if Sydney doesn't care to stop the clock, the half will expire. It appears that the Sydney band will be coming on at halftime. Those can be iffy situations. But now the Jackets will call timeout and force Bellfntn to at least approach their 4th down situation. We'll go ahead and remind you that high school football has a great tradition in this part of the country, and the sound of the high school marching band is as much a part of that tradition as the game itself. That's why Mutual Federal Savings Bank of Sydney and Piqua will be pleased to help put tonight's Pride of Sydney halftime band show into the spotlight, reflecting Mutual Federal's ongoing community involvement. Mutual Federal Savings Bank has been your locally owned financial center for over 70 years. They're justifiably proud of the role they play in the local economy. If your bank has changed, maybe you should change to Mutual Federal, which shortly will invite you to enjoy the Pride of Sydney marching band. And here in Bellfntn, we're able to pick up the public address system well enough that you can just follow along at halftime. Dale?
Well, Dave, the Yellow Jackets are going to try to come up with one more big play. It's going to be 4th down and 8. The ball is on the Sydney 45. I would not expect Bellfntn to try to punt. I think they're going to run one more play. The Yellow Jackets have no timeouts remaining. Bellfntn still has 2. But as you mentioned, you talk about damage control. After the quarterback sack, they realize that they're just going to run out the clock and look for him to do that right here.
Thompson will hand it off. That's Bowser. He'll take it straight ahead. Stopped a couple of yards shy of the first down, about 3 yards short. Jeremiah Johnson, number 5, the first guy to get a hold of him. The clock down to 2 seconds now.
Chiefs turn the ball over to the Jackets.
Jackets will take the football, but as soon as the ball is declared ready for play, we're history. There it goes. It's halftime. We'd like to remind you that the 1995-96 school year will be an exciting one for the Sydney Marching Band. Trips to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta over Christmas vacation, also on down to Magic Kingdom at Disney World. The band show this year is composed of classical music, and we invite you to get the full details while you watch that band show right here with Ross Media and Channel 13 Productions on Warner 13. The halftime score, once again, 21-7. Bellfntn leading the Sydney Yellow Jackets. Dave Ross along with Dale Gibbon on Warner 13, momentarily ready for the Sydney Band Show, and then we'll be along with our halftime statistical wrap-up, which of course will show a couple of key Sydney interceptions being a big part of that halftime margin of 21-7 in favor of the homestanding Bellfntn Chieftains. Sydney will come back home to conclude non-league play next week as the Xenia Buccaneers will visit. That'll be the second year of a 2-year contract that in all likelihood will be continuing. Xenia also coming on to Sydney's boys varsity basketball schedule this winter. Band, center stage.
Marching Band. The band is under the field direction of field commanders Amy Schreiber, John Chocote, and Shane Spinner. The Majorette Corps is led by Wendy King, and the Flag Corps captain is Michelle Henman, with co-captain Bobby Moore. Our first selection is from Spain. The composer is Manuel de Falla. The music of de Falla is not universally known, but is always recognized as being very Spanish in nature. From his ballet about Spain, Ritual Fire Dance. To close tonight's show, we go to Russia. The composer is Igor Stravinsky. Stravinsky was considered one of the musical giants of the 20th century. A truly inspired composer of both secular and religious works, he is best known for his work in the world of dance. From his ballet, The Firebird, we bring you Firebird Suite, featuring soloist Kenny Cutler. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the Pride of Sydney Marching Band.
Tonight's Pride of Sydney Marching Band Show has been a community service provided by Mutual Federal Savings Bank of Sydney and Piqua.
The advisor is Mrs. Brenda Elliott. Gay Brewer is the majorette consultant. Mr. Phil Silko is assistant to the band. This is your announcer, Lisa Bodart. Thank you for your attention this evening.
Halftime score, Bellfntn 21 and the Sydney Yellow Jackets was 7. Before moving on to third quarter football action after a brief tape change, we'll check in with Dale Given with our halftime report.
Well, Dave, the stats this half look to be a little lopsided in Sydney's favor. Unfortunately, the score is not. The Yellow Jackets have picked up 154 yards on the ground, 28 yards through the air, a total of 182 yards of offense. Bellfntn Chieftains, 96 yards rushing, 53 yards passing, 149 yards. You would expect a close game or perhaps a Sydney lead, but the reason it is not, we will chronicle very soon, and that being turnovers and penalties. Leading ball carrier for the Yellow Jackets, Shane Brewer with 86 yards rushing, Andy Ward with 42, Derek Goffney 16, Logan Fair with 10. Derek Goffney has had his hands full passing the football. He has completed 3 of 7 passes. Actually, he's completed 5 of 7. Unfortunately, 2 of those went to Bellfntn Chieftains. The 3 passes were completed, 1 to Andy Ward of 17 yards, and 2 passes to Shane Brewer, totaling another 11. On the other side, Bellfntn has really mixed things up. They've completed a total of 4 passes out of 5 attempts, and and then they've mixed up their running attack. Libertus, that's Devin Libertus, 46 yards rushing, 33 yards carrying the pigskin has been fullback Josh Bowser. Quarterback Greg Thompson has negative yardage, and St. Clair has 22 yards in rushing the football for the Chieftains of Bellfountain. 8 first downs for the Yellow Jackets, 7 for Bellfountain. Looking at penalty yards, 40 for the Bellfountain Chieftains, only 20 for the Yellow Jackets. However, both penalties that came against the Yellow Jackets, a 5-yard offsides and a 15-yard face mask, both proved the fact they managed to give first downs to the Bellfountain Chieftains. One keeping a drive alive that managed them to score. The other kept a drive alive that allowed them to run out the clock to end the half. Recapping the scoring, Bellfountain drew first blood following a Sidney interception. Libertus carried it in from 6 yards out. The kick was good, and at the 6:50 mark, the first period, it was 7-0 Bellfountain. Then Bellfountain, once again, still first period, following another Sidney pass interception. At the 4:16 mark, it was Thompson to St. Clair, 13 yards on a 4th down, and 4. They managed to come up with a touchdown. The big play, kick was good, 14-0. Yellow Jackets answer, come back with a long, sustained drive, going from end to end, total of 68 yards. It was completed with a Goffney to Ward pass, 17 yards on a 4th down and long situation for the Yellow Jackets. The kick was good, and it was 14-7. But Bellfountain came right back, keeping their momentum alive following a penalty against the Yellow Jackets. They were then able to come down and put another score on the board, that being Bowser up the middle, 16 yards, a Bellfountain touchdown. Kick was good, 21-7. That's our halftime score. And David, Bellfountain gets the ball to start the second half.
Thanks very much, Dale. Yellow Jacket Replay on Warner 13 is a telecast service of the Sidney Shelby County YMCA. The Heinfeld Insurance Agency, Sidney Interstate Shell, the home of the free car wash. The Dog Pound behind the Sidney Econo Lodge. The Minster State Bank, First Call Auto Supply, the Spot and Frisch's Restaurants, People's Federal Savings and Loan Association, Travel to Paradise, the North Dixie Drive-Through Carryout, Wilson's Cardinal Foods, Edward D. Jones and Company with Errol Browd and Allen Browd, Emerson Wagner Realty, Area Energy and Electric, Mutual Federal Savings Bank. They were with us for the Sidney Band Show at halftime. Myers Garage and Drive-Through Carryout in Newport, the Reese Insurance Agency, the Sidney office of the First National Bank in New Bremen, F.D. Lawrence Electric, the Dickman Insurance Agency, the Farrington, and A&B Machine Incorporated. Again at halftime, it's Bellfountain 21, Sidney 7. We'll be back with the third quarter kickoff after a quick tape change.
Please stay tuned now while we make a quick tape change. We'll be right back with the second half of action in just a moment. This is Channel 13, Sidney.
Sidney trails at 21-7.
October 27th, during the halftime ceremonies of that game.
Just a few incidentals being taken care of before we boot off period number 3. Right here on Warner 13, where we invite you to join us Monday night, 6 p.m. for Lehman football against Marion Local. We've got a new jersey kicking off, so be it. Here we go. Jackets need to get it done defensively as they already trail by a couple of touchdowns. Get that ball back into the hands of the offense. Here's the kick. It'll be a knuckler fielded at the 33-yard line. One of the up men moves it forward. That's 22, Kane Fisher. And Fisher will be stopped by 41 for the Jackets, Kent Witt. He's all the way out to the 44. That's excellent field position.
Well, you're right, Dave. They have excellent field position. And that's something that Bellfountain has enjoyed throughout the evening. The only time they had poor field position was when they stopped Sidney deep in their own territory towards the end of the first half. They come out over center, 1st and 10, Bellfountain.
Chiefs go with a straight wing to the left side. They'll go Libertus on the pitch. He'll turn the corner. Allen able to drag him down, but not until Bellfntn achieves a gain of about 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Student body left. Quarterback pitches back and becomes a blocker. And if he's not there, Sidney's able to make the play. So a big block by Thompson was able to spring Libertus. Pick up on the play of about 7.5, almost make it 8 yards.
Long count by the Chieftains. Dive play to Bowser, Gibbs, and a couple of others in on the stop. But he looks good for first down yardage at about the 45.5-yard line. We'll double check the spot.
Actually, the spot's going to be, looks to be closer to the 43. So it's going to be just a little short of that first down. So a pickup on the play of only about, I'll make it a yard.
Here's where a procedure penalty would help things for the Jackets. 3rd down, less than a yard, as they didn't get as good a spot as we thought they would. Motion comes this way, the counter back the other way with Libertus. Gets away briefly from Neebs, perhaps just enough to pick up that Chieftain first down.
Initial contact in the backfield, but good second effort by Libertus. He's able to get the ball to the 45. Pick up on the play of 2. Bellfntn first down.
Ball squarely at the 45-yard line at the left hash mark. We're 2 minutes into the 3rd period. Bellfntn on the move. Of course, this possession started with fabulous field position at their own 44. St. Clair in motion. They'll roll it this way with Thompson. He'll throw it down. That's almost intercepted.
Well,
Luke Allen had an excellent shot at it at the 37-yard line. Also there was number 2, David Johnson. Football falls to the turf. Will go now to 2nd down and 10.
Dave, we had mentioned before, they come with that double cross fake. They bring both running backs through. That time they faked to Libertus, and as soon as Luke Allen saw that the handoff was not made, he immediately turned and found the tight end dragging across the middle, and because of that coverage, that forced the incompletion. So the Jackets made the adjustment at halftime that they needed to, so it's going to bring up a big play here. 2nd down and 10 for Bellfntn.
Option play comes this way. Libertus got a seam, but a beautiful job of breaking the seam for Sidney by Howie Ludwig, number 30. He knifed right through, and had he been successfully blocked, that may have been a first down.
Oh, it was a big gainer, as that time they were able to get inside and pop outside then of Jeremiah Johnson, who gambled on the quarterback.
3rd and 7.
So pick up on the play of only 3 yards.
That'll make it 3rd and 7. Here is a possession play for Bellfntn, as the homestanding Chiefs lead it by 14, 9:20 left in the 3rd period. Sidney with 4 down linemen. Thompson rolls, wants to throw. Oh boy!
That was close.
That was Mike Chambers and Dale Given. Could you see it coming?
You could, and so could Chambers. He saw the swing pass coming, and he elected to bat the ball down. And if he had been able to get a hold of it, it was a quick 6 the other way. Good defense by the Yellow Jackets, and they're going to force Bellfntn to do something that we have not seen tonight, and that is punt.
That's unusual. So the 7th play of the possession will be a punt.
As neither team punted in the first half, City turnovers gave the ball back to Bellfntn. We'll see what happens here. We got a wet ball. A lot of things can happen.
Austin will kick. Shane Brewer back for Sidney at the 10.
Over his head.
A horrible snap. Jackets pursuing Andy Ward. That ball is kicked. Roughing the kicker. Didn't he abandon all of his rights as a kicker?
Absolutely.
Andy Ward was trying to block that. The kicker is not entitled to protection on that. At least the way I understand the rule. Let's see if some officials get together, but that's the head man who threw it. Personal foul running into the kicker against Sidney.
Oh, my.
I think I'm up on my rules, and oh, boy.
He was over 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just turned and tried to kick the ball, and Ward was already airborne going for a block.
Yeah, I don't believe he's entitled to protection back there.
I don't believe it is either.
Scott Roddy is just livid as he can be without running the danger of a penalty, but oh boy, let's put it this way, I've never seen it before.
It's going to be a 15-yard step off against the Jackets, and you talk about one that really breaks your back. Third penalty against the Jackets. All three have caused first downs for Bellfntn.
26-yard line of Sydney. First and 10, Bellfntn.
And the punt causes first down and 10. Football at the 26-yard line. Chiefs will go with a double handoff. This is the wing. St. Clair headed back to the left.
And the defense has played so well. That's an absolute shame for a blown play, a blown call like that, at least in our opinion.
I'm not going to say too much more because I've never seen a ball kicked from way back there and had that prospect even come up, but yeah, whatever.
Pick up on the play of only a yard by St. Clair. Good defense by the Jackets once again.
This will make it second down 9 after a gain of only 1. There's the option. Jackets have that one bottled up. Libertus will lose a couple of yards. Sydney pretty fired up right now, and again amplifying on that punt play. We believe, we're not 100% positive, we'll leave it alone, that you're not entitled to protection once the ball has been hiked in that fashion. We'll say that, we'll leave it alone, we'll move on. We're looking at 3rd and 11.
Dave, you really have to like the way Sydney's come out this second half defensively. They seem to have a lot of steam and good pursuit. That time they're able to stop them for a 2-yard loss.
Thompson at the controls. Wing goes to the right. He wants to throw it. That'll be no, not quite. Jackets had a couple of people there, David Johnson and also Howie Ludwig, to defend that football. It was intended over there for the wingman, 36 Blake St. Clair. And so that'll fall harmlessly to the turf. It'll go now to 4th down and 11. But with the football at the 27-yard line, there's no sense punting it.
Unless you can make something happen. They've converted a 4th down play for a touchdown. The Jackets need to look for the draw to Libertus, get a good pass rush. That's a real key right here for the Yellow Jackets.
See who they've got split. Is Schmidt out to the left? That's one guy I'd take a look at if that's him.
Draw
they
play.
do the draw to Libertus. He's got a little bit of running room, but a combination of the presence of Howie Ludwig and also the condition of the turf, he went down after a gain of only about 4 yards. So the Jackets have answered, and Dale, the defense, did a nice job.
Well, they sure did. They've come out fired up, Dave, and it appeared they had stopped Bellfntn on the previous series, but they do right here with the exclamation point. We said look for the draw play. That's what Bellfntn went with. The Jackets came up, closed very quickly. And so now they'll take over 1st and 10. The ball just inside their own 25-yard line. 7:34 to go, 3rd period.
Clock on the move once again. Sydney down by a couple of touchdowns. They need to do something about it. The wing is to the right, so is the pitch to Brewer. Can he get the corner turned? He'll get to the line of scrimmage, get about 4 or 5. Pretty good job there in the face of Bellfntn doing a pretty good job of stringing that play out. Bart Austin makes the stop.
We made comment earlier, the Jackets had trouble getting outside the containment of Bellfntn. That time they just went to the wide side and let Shane Brewer use his speed. He was able to turn the corner before he got out of bounds. Nice pickup on the play of 5. 2nd down 5.
From the right hash, as Sydney moves from east to west here in Bellfntn. Goffney will hand it to Ward. He'll try the sweep. Got a 1st down and then a bunch. He'll get to the 45, out to the 47-yard line. That was a pretty good head of steam as Blake St. Clair, another one of the two-way performers for the Chiefs.
Nice 17-yard pickup by Andy Ward and a Yellow Jacket 1st down.
Sydney needed 5, got a dozen to spare. It's 1st and 10, the football approaching Bellfntn territory. Still at the Sydney 47, almost halfway through the 3rd frame. Our halftime score of 21-7, Bellfntn is still prevailing. The wing becomes almost a slot. Handoff went dead ahead to Brewer, and he'll lose a couple. That went nowhere. Austin and also Bowser in on the tackle for the Bellfntn Chieftains. Sydney looks at 2nd down and a dozen.
45-yard line, 2nd and 12.
Sydney has elected to stay exclusively on the ground thus far in this possession. What would appear to be an obvious passing down, and Bellfntn split some people out, but still managed to jam the middle.
And it has quit raining, but there would still be some moisture on the ball, quite obviously. Goffney to throw, got company, unloads it just a little bit too tall. looking on a crossing pattern for Josh Swiger, a tight end, number 17. It'll fall to the turf incomplete. Bellfountain's gotten some pretty good pressure tonight, Dale.
They do, Dave, and it's the second time that the Jackets have rolled left and tried to forcing the quarterback to throw across his body. And Derek's having a tough time. Good pursuit by Bellfountain, one, and secondly, with a wet turf and a wet ball, it makes his job doubly hard.
Clock stopped with 5:57, third frame. Goffney a long count, straight back to throw, setting up a screen. Brewer on the over the middle screen. He'll pick up a first down.
Touchdown.
The 40 to 35, touchdown. He's going to go the whole way, and we do not see a penalty flag. That'll be a 55-yard touchdown on the screen pass.
Dave, you can see it coming. The over-aggressiveness of Bellfountain was finally to be their nemesis. As Goffney backpedaled, it was jailbreak, and it was all she wrote. Great blocking inside by the Jackets downfield. And once Shane Brewer got the head of steam, it was all over. 6 points Jackets. They're making this a ball game once again. They trail by 8.
Elstner will try the point after touchdown out of the hold of Goffney as soon as they shift everybody over.
Elstner to attempt the extra point.
Elstner will go for his second PAT that would cut it to a 7-point Bellfountain lead. Good snap, good hold, pretty good looking boot. Yes. Sydney within 7. Dale, we've got a football game with 5:44 to play. Stop in, and that's in the third period. Stop in and check out the Sydney office of the First National Bank in New Bremen, currently located at 108 East Poplar Street with American Budget Company. Dave Boisard reports that groundbreaking on their new Russell Road facility will take place later this month. In the meantime, come in and ask about a passbook savings account, ideal for young and old alike, with a minimum balance of just $10. The First National Bank in New Bremen is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. On the grow in Sydney, the First National Bank in New Bremen says it pays to think first.
Well, Dave, the Yellow Jackets were flat in the first half, and we discussed it. We said, can anything really go wrong? More than it already has. But the Jackets come out in the second half, and they've reestablished themselves in the contest. The defense did the job. Stopped Bellfountain on their first possession, and then the offense did their job. They marched right down the field and capped it off with a 55-yard score on a screen pass, a middle screen to Shane Brewer. It's now 21-14. One score separates them, and Dave, we've got just about a quarter and a half of football left.
Ryan Moran, number 55, will kick it off for the Jackets. As Dale indicates, a quarter and a half of football yet to be played. We got a bunch of time. Sydney certainly wants a deeper kick this time than they got the last time around.
Ryan Moran handled all of the kickoff duties last week, and all of them up to the opening kick to start the second half. And now he's put back in to handle duties. Sophomore and second string center for the Yellow Jackets on offense.
He'll move into the football. Not too bad of a boot. That'll be inside the 10-yard line to St. Clair. 15-20, got some coverage. He'll get to the 30. That'll be a late hit. It didn't really do a lot of damage, but it was late.
Well, the Yellow Jackets have been their own worst enemy as far as penalties are concerned, and that's exactly what it'll be. Personal foul, late hit on Sydney. Sometimes a wet field can force you to slide into a play.
That can happen too. And for the second time tonight, after trailing by 14 points, Sydney has gotten back to within 7. We have 5:37 to play in the third quarter from Dodd Stadium here in Bellfountain, a stadium that has been occupied here since the 1969 season.
Dave, the best coverage that Sydney has had on a kickoff this evening, they had Bellfountain stopped at their own 30, but with 15 yards. It's actually going to be moved out to the 46-yard line of Bellfountain, where they'll set up shop 1st and 10.
Chiefs go from there. St. Clair in motion to the left. They'll run a dive play with Libertus. Gibbs will bring him down after a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Well, Dave, we watched the Yellow Jackets defense suck it up at halftime last week and pitch a shutout against St. Mary's. They've come out fired up in the second half here against Bellfountain. First series, they stopped them and forced them to punt the ball, turn it over to the Yellow Jackets on downs. This time the Yellow Jackets defense faced once again with the task of stopping the Bellfountain Chieftains.
It's 2nd and 6 from midfield. Thompson, the quarterback. Sidney showing blitz. And just as Jeremiah Johnson moved toward the line of scrimmage, he perhaps got a reprieve from the other side of the line, where one of the Chieftain interior linemen jumped. We'll go now to 2nd down and 11.
It looked like their left guard jumped before Jeremiah could break that plane. So the Jackets get a break. So it goes from 2nd down and 6 to 2nd down and 11. See if the Jacket defense can take advantage. Good opportunity here for the Yellow Jackets.
There's a good look at the Sidney defensive front deploying. Their coordinator is Pete Galanick. Good look straight down the line of scrimmage here at Dodge Stadium. Thompson to throw, puts it up deep. That's interceptable. A little bit overthrown. Ludwig back there for the Yellow Jackets. They intended it for Andy Boy, 86. Another senior who's been a target out there a couple of different times. David Johnson also back there for the Jackets.
Well, that time it looked like Johnson playing center field was going to come up with the interception. For the 2nd time in a row, hustled by Ludwig, has batted the ball away, but from his own teammate. But I will never complain about 2 people being in the right spot. It's when no one's there that you get hurt. Big 3rd down play now for the Yellow Jacket defense.
Awfully big 3rd down, Dale. From Bellfntn's side of midfield, St. Clair in motion. They'll hand it back this way with Libertus, who is tripped up by Jeremiah Johnson.
I was holding my breath because after he had slipped down, he started to get up, and one of the Yellow Jackets came in and put a tackle on him. But once his knee's down, he's down, and I was hoping not to see a penalty flag. There's none thrown, no gain on the play. So that's going to bring up 4th down and 11, and let's hope we can actually get our first punt of the game.
Among the defenders for Sidney, Andy Ward, who set a world record for rushing 35 yards before roughing the kicker. Here's the snap. It's a good one. The boot, pretty decent considering the conditions. The ball will be allowed to roll. Fortunately for Sidney, takes a largely neutral hop before being down by Nathan Arbogast, number 62. We've got a penalty flag well away from the spot of the football and away from the line of scrimmage.
Well, something took place downfield around the 35-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. The block, either way, took place after possession. It's going to be a clip against Sidney on the return, and this was after the ball had already been basically down. So this will bottle the Yellow Jackets up even further into their own territory. So Sidney just really hurting themselves with penalties, but fortunately we'll have the football.
Talk about that Jacket defense in the 3rd quarter.
2 possessions for Bellfntn. They come up empty twice. So you've got to like what you're seeing from the Yellow Jackets on the defensive side. The offense thus far looks real solid, but they got their work cut out for them now. If this goes half the distance to the goal line from the 22-yard line, it would be now wait a minute. They're going to say that Bellfntn will get the ball back?
They're going to say that it was pre-possession, apparently.
Oh my! I thought that after a ball was kicked that the possession was over.
Needs to be caught or downed in the case of a penalty. I do know that. Jeremiah Johnson up to talk to the official. There isn't much question that before that ball was down that those flags were on the turf. I'll buy that much.
Oh boy. Well, no punts again. And I stand corrected. The Yellow Jacket defense has not held Bellfntn twice. And another 15-yard penalty and another Bellfntn 1st down.
Well, perhaps we get a chance to play with the videotape. When we watch this back, we can get a little better look. But whatever it is, unless one official was throwing the flag in sympathy with the other, 2 guys saw the same thing.
Bellfntn 1st and 10, Sidney 40-yard line.
Sidney needs to hold him right here. Libertus will pick up 5, 7, 9, close to 10 yards. Slashing back right to left against the middle of the Sidney defense, Paul Neves and Howie Ludwig in on the stop. It'll be 2nd down and a yard to go.
Well, you wonder how many times the defense can get up off the mat and answer the call. Bellfntn with a big carry right there. Yellow Jacket defense.